Bill, thank you so much. Like, that was just so beautiful. I love this whole day so far. It's like, I got the hot sweats. It's really good. So thank you. Yeah, Kirk.
Yeah, that took my breath away just now. Yeah, so Isla sent me a message just a few minutes ago, uh, asking me, wondering if I would speak, and I said, in service to this, of course, and I thank you for the privilege, Isla, and for everybody. I hope it's not a too deviation, of course, that people wanted to see, but uh, I was asked and I said yes. And you know, when when Stephen ended his thing with that question to pose ourselves, how can I'm paraphrasing it, but how might I even more greatly access that deeper essential wisdom in myself? I did it. I closed my eyes, I asked, and the answer was immediate and the thunderous, just it was uh, to love. And I think Bill touched a little bit on this too. And I inquired more deeply, and it was like I was shown this metaphor of like a walkie-talkie, with different channels and certain frequencies. There's certain conversations going on, and so like, and that love is a frequency where that wisdom is just in constant flow for me. I'm speaking to my experience; it doesn't need to be yours, but and so I immediately like I asked myself, well, when can I felt the trueness of that as soon as it was it came into me, and then I was like asked, well, what's an instance, for me? And immediately I thought of something very fresh for me, which was just a little over a year and a half ago or so. I had a giant kind of health event, was in the hospital for a couple months, found myself you know uh, in the depths of that, late at night, 3 a.m., on top of having a leg with sepsis and infection. And I caught a flu from my son coming home from college, and I was trying to cough up stuff from a laying down position. It was a disc went out in my neck from coughing, and I found every breath and every moment was just excruciating. Not just the pain of that, but just for me, when I'm not feeling good, you know and at the time there wasn't a clear way out of my predicament.
Right.
Well, there was, I just wasn't seeing it yet, let me put it that way. um, I surrendered so deeply at that moment. I said, okay, spirit, like, I give up. I do not know what to do now. I'm out of my little bag of intellectual tricks. And immediately what was said to me was, well, not too long ago, you set an intention to evolve into more unconditional loving. I was like, yeah, I was talking about, certain political figures and like, and it's like, well, here you are. Here's the edge. You're not loving this. You want to experience unconditional love in your lifetime. Here it is. And I was like, whoa, okay. This? And I had no place else to go, and I did it. And first I tried to love every little thing, my knee, the infection. And then that was exhausting. That was like, the deeper wisdom was, the sun just shines. It doesn't decide to shine on Bill and Isla and the dog on the street. And it just shines. It just like, so it was just be loving. Just be your true nature. That will hit everything, including these things that moments ago were mortal enemies. And that was a relief. That was a relief, because it's like I still had pain, but I realized that 90% of my suffering wasn't the pain, it was my againstness to it. And in loving, there is no againstness. But the benefit is coming back to the original point of like, the the wisdom gotten was the wisdom gave me a new option. The elevation of love said, hey, you know what? Like, you could be done with all this if you just let go of your left leg. It's like, whoa, that was accurate. Because if I hadn't done that, I could still be in a bed right now with, antibiotics and everything else. But I chose amputation. I gave the direction to my doctors, you know, and the amputation was surgery 7. At surgery 6, I'm in a bed ready to go into surgery. The doctor starts to tell me all this stuff that he was going to do to try and like push things further. And I just said, I literally looked at like time out, and I looked to my wife and I said, "You're the only person I have to ask permission this for." She knew exactly what I was going to say. She said, "Permission granted." I told the doctor, "Do what you can, but come back out ready to a conscious amputation afterwards." And we did that. And 4 days later, I was coaching. 4 days later, my entire life was back. That had been gone for months. It was the best decision I ever made in my life. My entire life was back and even better. I'm a different shape, but that connection to loving and my deeper wisdom and my true nature had heightened, and it gives me elevation in my work. And I just want to like end with this text came into me while Bill was speaking. And it's from a client of mine who has stage 4 breast cancer. And in our last session, I'll speak in broad terms because of the sanctity of the session, but broad terms was her finally deciding that she was going to make all her choices from now on based on her loving of herself, not the worrying about how others are. And she just sent me a text and she said, well, magic things happened once I committed to my rest and my own self. And she goes on to describe how that gave her access to certain inclinations and insights that connected her to people that turns out there's a clinical trial that's really promising right next to where she said she wanted to go if she could have whatever she wanted, a location. And she ends with, isn't it interesting? I make a choice from my wisdom and so many new things come forward. And that was all me. It's like everything we're talking about and that Shannon just exemplifies in a vivid living reality in every moment that um, uh, Dr. Linda Pettit talked about in terms of devotion to that inner knowing, like that it works, it so works, and I'm in awe of it. And I'm grateful to share, and I'm grateful to be a part of Shannon's life. Thanks, everybody.
Mm. Thank you, Kirk. Thank you.